All glories to Shri Shri, Guru and Gauranga. May they bless us with deepest understanding of the subject matter at hand. This is part 2 of Thinking Till the End by Sri KrishnaChandra Prabhu, and it appears in the second branch of his website called Articles, and it is article number 9. So we left off with the thinking till the end. The Dharma does not stop with that which appears to the sight, which in this example was that Kali had cut 3 of his legs, but it emphasizes that behind the obvious there are always deeper reasons or causes. If we want to traverse the path of Dharma, so the thinking till the end principle means not to remain with the outer causes, but to get behind them, and that's of utmost importance. It teaches us not to just stick to the things that happen to us in our life and the phenomena, which is like airy appearance, and then put them into good bad schemes of the mind. We are to avoid that tendency. Dharma does not judge the momentary situation. It just observes it in silence, without reacting from previous impressions. And that will open an inner space and freedom to feel what kind of precious gifts God may have hidden in those situations of life, and what deeper moods are at the base of it that may want to remind us and direct us towards the final cause, which is our relation to God. This is when we see what is the feeling that arises, we observe that. Then we observe what is the actual need, what is missing, and that need which is missing is to be sought in our relation with God, because God is the source of all that we may ever need, and either we seek it in the ephemeral, temporary, material manifestations, or we are wise and go to the source of the everlasting relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, where we will find true and lasting satisfaction. So, when in the ancient Christian tradition of the desert fathers of apatheia, they speak about apatheia, which means the overcoming of the urges, then their focus was not primarily on sense control, but on the inner honesty and loyalty to God. Because every other attempt to overcome the urges would just be restrained and not a true overcoming. because this joyous, positive movement towards the final you of God is actually the cause of transformation of the heart, which is also said so in Bhagavad Gita 2.59. The negation and suppression of instinctive forces does not lead to spiritual freedom, but into neurosis and duality, where you are torn apart. Also, Patanjali, the father of Yoga Sutras, describes this thinking to the end of all desires as the dissolution and uprooting of all suffering. That is Yoga Sutras 2.10. So, the thinking to the end of all drives is uplifting one from the religious dilemma, because on the one side a human being will have the basic urges which invite him to life, meaning joy, love, sexuality, world embracement, the ownership of many worldly things, etc. And on the other side, religion seems to have this dangerous and seems to identify those things as dangerous and threatening, and putting the human being in quite rigid moral frameworks. And we have observed how religion can become antagonistic to life, killing life, and we have distanced ourselves from those Einschüchterung, means if it's making intimidations and sickening limitations, we have distanced ourselves from that, because we have seen that this is not a very life-affirming approach. The modern secular, that was the modern secular society, then went completely into the other direction and gave themselves to the urges, and the emptiness, it resulted in an emptiness of a culture which is solely based on sense stimulations and the satisfaction derived from that. So that led us to an experience of inner emptiness. So the thinking towards the end of all tendencies is not just cutting off the impulse, but it allows the impulse, invites the impulse, accepts it, but not just living it, following it blindly, but it questions that impulse. Where does it really want to lead me? Where does it want to direct me to? It's a sign towards a deeper aspect of the soul, a basic need that is within my very existence. So these are some thoughts, part 2 of the thinking towards the end, till the end. And thank you very much for joining us again in this translation of Shri KrishnaChandra Prabhu from Switzerland, and some extra thoughts added by us. And we invite you to check the description of the video for further links to our works, downloads, etc. to support us. If you like the content, please, for the benefit of all, share it, click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and see you in the next video. May the Om Love be with you. Jai Shri, Radhe Shyam.